a resource. So, because I know sometimes when clients go in to see doctors, some doctors like to use terminology that clients don't necessarily understand, and they don't break it down to them. Not that there's, but like, you have your field, this person has their field, and, there's certain things that you've never heard of before. So, it needs to be broken down in terminology that people can understand. So I use my ability to do research, help them, be able to ask certain questions that they may not have thought of, getting information for them, helping them to create a birthing plan that best fits what they're looking for, and to be an advocate as much as possible for them. My role is to, when there's a father in the picture, is to encourage the father to be very active, because I personally believe our men want to be there. They just may not necessarily know how to be there, especially when you have a woman who is going through something that, they've never experienced, and they're worried about where to touch her. Am I doing this right? Am I doing that right? And so I always tell my fathers, if your wife or girlfriend is sweetie boo pie at home, that's what she needs to be in the delivery room. Mm-hmm. Go on and whisper those sweet nothings into her ear. Keep communicating with her. I teach the husband how to hold. I like to encourage the husbands to, nobody knows your woman better than you. So, flow with your level of intimacy, your awareness of her. And even I consider myself not only to be the doula of the mother, but like I said, the doula of the father. So being available to both of them. I give them my personal number when I'm working with them and let them know, I don't care what time of day it is, call me. Mm-hmm. So I try to be there as much as possible. And what I do, I often end up a spiritual counselor as well as a doula. I always tell the doulas that I train that you'll wear many hats. You'll be a teacher. Sometimes you'll be the mother. You'll be the spiritual counselor. But I always try to keep resources because I know my limits. So if I see that there's a woman dealing with serious emotional issues, I will try to refer them out to a therapist. Because that's above my pay grade. So basically my role is a resource to help them have the birthing experience they want to have.
Mm-hmm. Have you, just to elaborate on kind of what you were saying around being a support not only to the mother and the father, have any of your mothers been in same-sex relationships?
I have not had any clients that are in same-sex relationships yet.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, so I haven't had that experience yet.
Okay. Just wondering. I thought that was kind of interesting. What problems do these women and their families experience when assessing appropriate care, and what does this mean to them?
Basically, finances. Mm-hmm. That's where I see most of the struggle, dealing with finances. The benefit of having a doula and a midwife is usually everything comes under one lump sum, as opposed to going to the hospital, you pay the doctor, you pay the hospital, you have different things that pop up. But what they do find easy for them is when you're able to offer a payment plan, certain discounts, and if their insurance will reimburse them. Some insurances now have, I forgot what they call it, like a free spending thing that they can use to pay for doulas. And, there are even some hospitals now that are hiring doulas. But I would think the financial part is probably the most stressful to them, also because some of these women are struggling with what type of money they're going to have. Well, some of these families, not just women, but some of these families are struggling with what type of money are they going to have while they're on maternity leave. Are they going to be able to take the whole time off? Are they going to have to go back to work quickly and be separated from the child? Can they work from home? Or do they have to worry about putting their child in a daycare early? Because we really don't live in a society that's kind of pro-family.
Right. You're right. Let's see. Describe your experience working with pregnant African American women and their healthcare needs. So you've talked about this a little bit, but if you can just go into a little detail about Black women's experience and their healthcare needs.
One of the things that I struggle with Black women as far as their healthcare needs while pregnant is the fact that understanding that getting a doula is not just for white people.
Mm-hmm.
It's not, how can I say, it's not like, getting a brand new pair of shoes that you don't need or getting your nails done. But a doula really does have certain emotional, physical, medical, benefits for their experience, and to be able to have somebody there who could advocate for you, before, during, and after birth. I think for me that would be, and getting some of these women to eat right, because let's be honest, an apple costs more than a bag of chips. Mm-hmm. Going to the grocery store to get stuff for a meal costs a lot more than just being able to go and get a burger. So it's like, I can't judge them because I've been in that position too. But it's like, trying to find ways to help them be able to stretch their funds to, buy a better quality this or spend a little bit more money on that. So I would say diet, and then just, understanding that a doula is just as, if not more valuable to the Black woman than it is our counterparts.
Mm-hmm. Where do you think that comes from? Because historically, African Americans have had some form of a doula type woman, in their lives, working with them around pregnancy, and the midwives, have always been Black. They didn't have this training, but they were obviously had years of training. If you look all the way, back to even slavery, right? So where do you think the change or the switch kind of came, where Black women now are having a hard time seeing the value in having a doula?
I think education, and I mean education and really understanding our history, and that, the elder midwives are Black. Not only did they deliver babies on the slave plantation, but they also delivered massive babies. They delivered and nursed and did all of that. Mm. They traveled to other plantations and did it. So I think understanding, that this is not something new. A lot of the Black women. Now, let me say this. With me saying a lot of the Black women feel like this is, they're coming into the awareness of a doula like this is a new thing, I've also noticed that some of the younger generation, and we're talking about women who are having babies in their 20s, are more aware of a doula. I've had women in their 20s, young women, who come to me and they are very much aware, like, hey, I want to have a home birth. I don't want to have my child in the hospital. But these are women who also have a different lifestyle. They don't live so much in the system. Mm-hmm. So, whereas when you have women who are, very much into the system, and I say that for lack of a better term, I can't think of a better terminology right now. They more conventional, I guess, living. They're not aware of certain things. So like, I'm trying to figure out, like, in Atlanta, let's put it this way, in Atlanta you have your conscious community. Okay, that's where I started my doula work in Atlanta. So I noticed more of the sisters who come out of this quote unquote conscious community, they were like, I'm not going to the hospital. I'm having my child at home. I'm having a doula. I'm having a midwife. I'm doing free birthing. Whereas those who worked, more corporate in the mainstream, they were, okay, we're going to the hospital. No, I don't want my child at home. No, don't want the herbs. I'm going to go ahead and take the medicine that the doctor gave. So I think it's just, introducing and understanding it's not even necessarily limited to the conscious community, that it's something for the community as a whole.
Right. Interesting. How do you ensure